Okay. So as part of our curriculum, right? So we will be discussing Tableau Desktop. This is the area where we will have an elaborate discussion. We will have a lot of practical examples that we are going to discuss. And also, along with Tableau Desktop, we'll also cover Tableau Server. What is the architecture of Tableau Server? How do you work on Tableau Server? How do you create users? How do you create? So it would be more of 75% of developer knowledge and 25% of admin knowledge. Like how much are we going to cover on the what are required to work on Tableau Server. So we will go through all those options. Okay. So, so Tableau Cloud, which is again a cloud version of Tableau Server, a cloud version of Tableau Server. So we will be looking at this. We will create a cloud version. We'll use an email ID and create a cloud version and see what all can be done with the help of that. Similarly, Tableau Prep. So Tableau Prep is a data preparatory tool where you will combine multiple data sources, where you will also combine you would do some data cleansing. So you would do some additional options on, apart from what we have learned on Tableau Desktop, what else can be done in terms of modeling your data, in terms of cleaning your data, in terms of segregating your data or creating a single source of data. So we will see all those on Tableau Prep. Okay. So Tableau Desktop is a licensed tool, guys. So what you can do is you can start installing Tableau Desktop. Okay. It's a very easy and simple installation. So all you need to do is search for the latest version of Tableau Desktop. Okay, so just search Tableau Desktop download. So this would give you the link, and it would always give you the latest. It'll always give you the latest version. Currently, the latest version is 2024.2. The dot version is 0.2. So you can register yourself here. Okay, you don't have to provide your company email ID or anything. You can provide your Gmail and you can register here. Okay, so once you download, it will give you 14 days of trial version. Okay, so how to extend that 14 days trial for the entire course of your entire duration? So we will discuss that in the later okay, so it will help you download this tool. So whoever is willing to continue on the training, right? Make sure you download this and you install this on your desktop. Okay. So Windows 10 and above are preferable versions for installing this tool. So there is one more version which is called as Tableau Public. So what is Tableau Public and how is it different from the rest of the tools here? So when you say Tableau Public, right? So Tableau Public is a open source or free version of Tableau Desktop. Okay, it's a free version of Tableau Desktop. So what all you can do in Tableau Desktop, right? The same things can be done on Tableau Public as well. Okay, so you would be able to create all the stories, visualizations, dashboards, and everything on Tableau Public as well. But the limitation here is, since it's a free version, right? So the limitation of the free version is you can only connect to file-based data sources. Okay, so you cannot connect to any. You cannot connect to any. Uh, what do you say? You cannot connect to any RDBMS servers or cloud servers or any of the other data sources that are available. So if you look at the Tableau desktop, you have a host of data sources that are available for you. Okay, so you have an entire list of data sources that are available to you. But in Tableau Public, you will not see all this. You'll only see the file related options. Okay, so you'll only see what are the file related options, probably Google Drive, Excel, text file, and PDF file, and only these kind of options. And when you want to save your work, right? So usually when you save your work in Tableau desktop, it would be saved as a Tableau. It would be saved as Tableau workbook. Just like an Excel workbook, we also have something called as Tableau workbook. So we would save that as a Tableau workbook. But when it comes to Tableau public, right, you'll not be able to save any local versions of it. So you'll have to save it in your Tableau public profile. So you would be given a Tableau public profile with the email ID that you register, right? So you would be given a Tableau public profile, and you need to save all your work on that Tableau public profile. Okay. So what are the limitations here? First thing, you cannot use this for connecting to any data sources, RDBMS or any other data sources. Second, you'll not be able to connect, you'll not be able to save anything locally. Everything you work on, it needs to be saved in this Tableau public profile. So first thing, the first disadvantage here is you cannot go for using any any confidential data. Okay, so if your data has some privacy concerns or confidentiality attached to it, you should not be using Tableau Public. Okay, so this is for non-profit organizations, developers across the globe who want to use the tool. So this is more of a free version only. Okay, so whatever you learn in Tableau Desktop, majority of the options would be available in Tableau Public as well, except for the data connectivity part. And whatever you work on Tableau Public, you cannot link this to server or cloud. Okay, so you cannot link this to server or cloud. That is another disadvantage. So if you want to work in a Tableau environment, so you need to have a Tableau desktop license, and only from that you will be able to publish your content into server and cloud. Okay, so question here, how about Mac version? Yeah, you would also have, just like how we have the exe version for the Windows laptops, I think you would have a DMG file. You can select the OS type and the file type once you register here. So you should be able to install that tool on your MacBook as well. So that should not be an issue. Okay, so whoever is joining the training, right, make sure you join with the right name. Okay, so I see many participants join with their mobile names. Okay, iPhone, and your device names are displaying here instead of your actual names. How do you extend your trial version? I don't think there is a straightforward version to extend your trial. Okay, so let's see what is the UI of Tableau Desktop. So we'll get started with the introduction of Tableau Desktop. Uh, what are the UI elements here? What is the significance of those? Okay, so as soon as you open the tool, what you see here is called as the Tableau homepage. Okay, so what you see on the first is called as Tableau homepage. So under the Tableau homepage, you see there are multiple sections here. One is called the Connect pane, then Open pane, and a Discover pane. Okay, so in the enterprise version, Discover may or may not be available, but Connect and Open panes are available to you. Okay, so what is Connect pane? So under Connect, you again have multiple sections. What are those? Connect to a file. Okay, then connect to a server and saved data sources. Okay, so you need to select according to the source, you need to select the options here, whether you're connecting to an Excel file or a text file or Microsoft Access file. Okay, and then you have connect to a server option. So under server, right? So you would see all the options that are available in the majority of the options that are available in the market. Okay, so whether it is Splunk or Snowflake or HANA or Salesforce or DB2. So you have your regular SQL server. Okay, so you see Amazon Aurora, Azure SQL, Microsoft SQL Server, SSAS, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Spark, and then you have Teradata, you have Vertica. Okay, so you have Vertica and okay, so we have all these options. You can right away click on some of these and you can start connecting to that. Okay, so enter your details over here, like the username, password, and all these things, and you should be able to make a connection to that. Okay, as soon as you provide the credentials, you'll be able to connect to this underlying database. Okay, something wrong with the password, so we can actually connect to the underlying database as well. So we will see how to connect, what are the tables that are available in MySQL, how do you connect to them, how do you retrieve the data from them. So you will be able to work on these kind of options. Similarly, if I go for Salesforce, right, as soon as I click on Salesforce, it will navigate me to the default browser. Okay, you see, it is immediately asking me to log into Salesforce database or Salesforce over here. Okay, I can connect to Google Drive. Okay, so this is the connect pane. So under connect pane, you will have different options to connect to the server over here. Okay, so from a Tableau perspective, whatever options that you have, we will be looking into those. So with respect to the database, with respect to the cloud source, all those would be available in this list, and we will connect to those as part of our training, and we'll see what are the different options that we have. Okay, save data sources, like the name indicates, if you are connecting to a data source repetitively, so you can actually connect to that and save that, and you can reuse that. So this is more or less like bookmarking your data sources. Then you have the open pane, connect pane, open pane, and discover, right? So open is recently saved workbooks, and all those options would be available over here. So these are some things which we created in the previous sessions. So that is the reason you would see them in the recent books over here. Okay, so on the discover pane, you will see all the data options with respect to recent versions, if there are any community or blog updates. So you would see all those on the discover pane over here. Okay, so let's connect to a sample data source and understand the next set of elements over here. Okay, so you can browse the file that is there. Okay, so this is only for the time being. So just to understand the basic options, we will delve into the cloud and the RDBMS options in a later discussion. Okay, so from the home pane, where are we now? We are in the data source page. Okay, so Tableau data source page. So under the home page, what have we selected? We have selected what is our source of data. Okay, so here you would be selecting your source of your data. When you want to create a visualization, when somebody says, bring me the marketing data for the last 3 quarters or the last from 2024 beginning to till date, where do you store that data? Where do you have that data stored? Is your business storing that marketing data in Excel? Is it storing it in Salesforce? Is it storing it in some other CRM tool? So where are you storing that information? So that is something which you need to identify, and you would be connecting to that particular source from the home page. Okay. So if your data source is not available in the list here, right, you can also configure them using your JDBC, ODBC connections, other databases, you see, you will be able to configure the other connections as well. Okay. So this is your data source page. So under the data source page, what are you going to see? So you have a left-hand pane. So you have a left-hand pane. Then you have something called canvas. Then you have something called as data and metadata grid. So data grid and metadata grid. So this will appear when you do some basic operations on the data source page. And then you will have something called as connection type and another option called as filter. So right now you don't see anything because we just connected to the data source. What is the functionality of data source page? In the previous page, we selected what is our data source. In this particular page, you need to tell Tableau, like for my marketing dashboard, you need to use so-and-so file, or you need to use so-and-so table, or you need to use so-and-so view in your visualization. So that's what you need to mention in the data source page. So how would you mention that? I will drag and drop my orders sheet. So this sample superstore Excel that we have created, right? It has 3 different sheets: orders, people, and returns. So I am connecting to the orders table here, orders data set from the Excel sheet. Out of the three sheets that are part of the Excel, we are connecting to one of them. So as soon as you add an order, as soon as you add a table to the canvas here, right? So the white space is nothing but canvas. So as soon as you add some data over here, immediately you see a lot of options highlight on the screen, right? So first you see, so on the left hand side, this is my left hand pane. This section is called my canvas. So this section is called my meta data grid. And the next section where you see the preview of data, this is called as data grid. This is called as data grid. And on the top of your screen, you would see connection type. and another option called as the filter here. Okay. So what is the functionality of Canvas? So whatever tables are part of Canvas, right? So you will be able to this is the source of information for your visualization. Okay, so you can also join different data sources as well. I mean different tables as well. Okay, so you can select what kind of date, what kind of join, and all these things. And if you are connecting to a data source, right? If you are connecting to, let's say, table, sorry, a DBMS, RDBMS. So you would see an option called as custom SQL. So on the left-hand pane, right? So you would see something called as custom SQL, which you will be able to write the data. So you'll be able to write the data. You'll be able to write a query of your own. You'll be able to write a select query where you will be able to fetch the data based on your requirement. Okay. So custom SQL is where you write your query. So we will see that when we connect to a database, right? MySQL, when we make a connection, we'll be able to see what are the custom SQL options. Okay. So what are the other options that we have here? Metadata grid and data grid. So data grid, you see, it is giving you a preview of data. Whatever sample superstore Excel that we have created, right? So under that sample superstore Excel, let me open the data source for you so that you'll have an overview of what we have connected. Okay. So whatever data that you see here, right, you would see a preview of it. So this is the sheet in my Excel. So this is the data in my Excel. When you connect the same thing here, it is loading that information here as well. I would not say loading, but it is giving you a preview of the data. Okay. So the Excel has roughly around how many rows? 10,195 rows. The same thing applies here as well. So you are connecting to the data and it gives you a preview of 1,000 rows, 100 rows. So you can look for more data over here. Okay. So this gives you a preview of what all data you have in your Excel and whatever information regarding these columns is there, right? So that is something which is available in the metadata grid. What is the name of the field? What is the data type? From which table are we getting this? All that information would be available in the metadata grid. Okay. So what do you understand by the term filter? I've been speaking for quite some time now, so I would like some answers from you guys. What do you understand by the term filter? Anyone? Not exactly sorting. So what do you do with filters on your e-commerce sites? So when you go to Amazon, when you're searching for a product, okay. So let's say you're searching for mobiles. Okay. So immediately what you do, you apply something called as a filter on the selection, right? Okay. So you put certain conditions and then you try to get the data again. So what would that filter do? Initially, when you go to the mobile section in Amazon, your results might be in thousands, right? So then you apply certain conditions that I need a mobile with so and from so and so company with so and so RAM with so and so what do you say this kind of resolution. So you would apply certain filters on the website and it would restrict you. It would restrict the data to it would restrict your data to from thousands of results. It would restrict your data to a certain number. So filters always help you in reducing the amount of data that you are querying, right? So let's say your sample superstore data has uh, 5 years or 6 years of data. So you only need the latest year. So you can apply a condition here saying that I have a date column. So on this, I need only the latest year information, 2024 information only. Whatever dashboard we are creating, whatever visualizations that we are creating, it will only be on 2024. So what does it say? Year of order date keeps 2024. And what is this filter? This is called as data source filter. You are restricting the data at source level only. So filters keep coming into your discussion in all your upcoming classes as well. So what is the significance of each level of filter? We will see that in the subsequent sessions. Okay, so filter is clear, right? So what is the functionality of a filter? It would help you identify what is the whatever requirements that you have, right? So you can restrict your data only to those requirements, only to that set of data. Now imagine we created a dashboard on the same sample superstore Excel. Our requirement is only 2024, but without the filter, every time your visualization is loading, it will have to query the entire 4 years of information, right? Now, when you create a filter over here, right, what will happen? The query will be restricted only to 2024. So your load times will be faster. Your load times would be faster in your visualization. So that is how you will be able to restrict the data and also improve the performance of your visualization from the filter set using the filter over here. So this is not just any filter. This is called as data source filter. Okay. So please make a note. It is called data source filter. So any questions so far? So let's take a couple of minutes to see if there are any questions. Okay. Also, if you see the message in the chat window, so please provide your WhatsApp number, your name and WhatsApp number, so that you can be added to the group. I see Nagaraju has already responded. Rest of the participants who have not already registered to the course, right? Please make sure that you share your name and also your mobile number so that our team can contact you. Okay. So I see there are no questions here. Okay. So what are the other options that we have here? So first, in the data grid, you see there are a lot of options here, right? So you have different symbols assigned to all these different field names. Okay. So what are the different data types that we have? So you have hash key, which is nothing but numeric data. Then you have ABC, which is nothing but varchar. Then you have calendar, which is an indication of a date column. Then you have calendar and clock, which is an indication of date and time. Then you have a globe symbol, which is nothing but an indication of geographic data. So map visualizations are a common thing in current day businesses, right? So majority of our businesses are spread across multiple, they are spread across multiple geographies. So geographic data analysis is a common thing in current day scenario. Okay, so there would be one more called as true or false, which is nothing but Boolean data. Okay, yes or no, Boolean data. So you can always change your data type. Okay, number, decimal. You see, this is something which Tableau has assigned it by default. You can always modify this as well. And at the same time, you can also You can also combine two different fields and create a third field as well. Usually when you are working on the data, right? So not all types, all requirements are readily available to you. So if you see here, every order has an order date and ship date. I would like to know how much time did this order take to reach the end customer. So I can create a calculated field here. That information is available to me in the form of two different dates, but I don't have it available as a straightforward column in my data. So I can create a calculated field. You see, there is an option called create calculated field. So another example for a calculated field. So let's say you have something called as employee date of birth. So I would like to know what is the age of the employee. So age of the employee is my requirement for one of the visualization. So for one of the HR dashboard, age of the employee is a important data. So how do I compute? So I would find out what is the date difference between in terms of years between my date of birth and whatever is the current date. Okay. So I would find out the difference between these 2 days. How do I find out? I'll find out in terms of years. So this would give me the age of an employee. So we can also get additional information from our existing data. Okay. So you can combine multiple columns. You can you can derive it from a single field. So there are different ways of creating your calculated fields. Okay, so you can do that on the calculated field. So when I say create calculated field, right, it gives me an editor. So here you can see different types of calculations: number, string, date, type conversion, logical, aggregate, and all these things. So you don't have to worry about how to write these calculations. Okay, so these are combination of Excel functions and uh, Excel functions and also SQL functions, and you can actually see the help on the right hand side of your calculation here. If I select date difference, it will give you an expression like how do you use date difference. Okay, so we will see all these calculations, how you use these different calculations, what are the scenarios that we have. We will take some business use cases and also try creating some calculations, use all the different types of calculations. It's a very crucial part of our discussion where we will spend at least 25% of our time understanding different types of calculations, understanding different types of that in the upcoming session. So we have a special, we have a couple of modules which focus mainly on the calculations. That will give you a good hands-on and also confidence to attempt any project or attempt any interview in Tableau. Okay, I see there is a question here. How do you handle junk data? Junk actually means there are different kinds of junk, right? So you have a lot of null values. You have a lot of what do you say data in one particular column. Let's say you have a city or a state. So there are different ways of handling it. You see, in the country information, some of the fields are United States, some of the fields are given as Canada and all those. So let's say you have for the same country field and for the same data point, United States, there are different notations. Okay, so some people are entering it as US, some of them are using it as United States, some of them are using it as USA. So we can standardize that data using something called as groups. Okay. So you see here, I have something called as a group. So I can create a group and I can standardize that data. Again, there are different ways of filling the null values, and we'll see that in the upcoming sessions. Tableau prep also comes in handy when you talk about cleansing your data. So then you have can the connection type, right? You see here, live connection and extract connection. Okay. So what do you understand by these terms, live connection and extract connection? Just a high level understanding of what you see, what you get from these two terms, live connection and extract connection. Okay, so live means access live data, extract means load it into Tableau. Okay, close enough. Okay, so Vishnu, your understanding is partly correct. So when you say live connection, right? If I hover on this, just see the tooltip what it suggests. So when you go for live connection, when you hover on this, what does it say? Current connect directly to your data. The speed of your data source will determine performance. Okay, so you're always connected to your data. When you say live connection, right? You're always connected to your data. As soon as you open your visualization, right, it will always show the latest information. So the line charts, bar charts, whatever chart types that you create, right, they would automatically update according to the data that you have in the sample superstore Excel or your database, whatever you are connecting. So then what is extract connection? So if I click on extract, right? If I select extract, what does it say? Import your data into Tableau's fast data engine. Extract is created when you click on a sheet tab. So when you say extract connection, right? So basically what extract connection does is it creates a temporary connection, or it creates a temporary snapshot of data. Okay. So live, you're always connected to the data source. Okay. Whether it is Excel or whatever. So extract connection, what will happen is extract connection is you're connected to a snapshot of data. So basically you are going to download your data into a file. So which would be nothing but Tableau data extract. Okay. You would be connecting to a file called Tableau data extract. And your visualization would always be connected to this snapshot information only. Okay. So basically your visualization is always connected to your data when you say live. Okay. So when you say extract, right? So the same visualization. So it will be connected to a snapshot, which is nothing but an extract file. And this extract is generated from the underlying data source. So how would the visualization get the latest information? So that is the important part of it, right? So how would the visualization get the latest information? We'll always refresh these extracts. So when you refresh this extract, right, you need to refresh this extract to get the latest information. So how do we create those refreshes? What are the different types of refreshes that we have? So all those we will see in the session tomorrow. So Kavi, Vishnu, I hope all of you are comfortable with the mode of delivery and with the speed of the delivery. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so based on whatever we have discussed in the session, right? So I would be giving you the notes to all of those. Okay, so you will be able to go through those simple notes, simple plain English, not too much of technical jargon. Just like how you would make a note in your notepad, or how you would take notes, right? So whatever I share, it would be on similar lines. Okay. So any questions before we conclude for today? Please share your contact details with Raj Cloud Technologies. So the participant's name is Raj Cloud Technologies. Please share your contact details with them so that they can align with you when it comes to new when it comes to the trainings and all. Okay, so this recording would be uploaded in our portal, and you would be given access to it. Whoever has already registered, you can go through the recording. Okay, so in the next couple of days, we would lock the current batch, and we would be having daily 2 hours of session. Okay, so since it is the very beginning, we are not discussing too much or too many topics. Okay, it would be more of an information overload for all of you. So I'm restricting this to only a 1 hour session for today. But in the next 1-2 days, we would be locking the final set of participants here, and we would be uh, extending this to a 2 hour session. Uh, 2 hours would be full hands-on exercises plus training. Yeah, it's not like a continuous mode of delivery. You would be given time to. We'll take questions during the training itself. Yeah, thanks everyone. I don't see there are any further questions. Let's conclude our discussion here. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue our discussion on this. See, we can, Vishnu, we can always we can always have that according to our choice. Okay, Q&A, we can either specify last 15-20 minutes. I usually don't have a separate time for Q&A. I would answer the questions then and there itself. So Venkat, the sessions would be once we have the final batch, right? So we would always uh, unmute the participants. Okay, right at the beginning of the session itself, we would unmute the participants. Okay, so during the initial sessions with large number of participants, right? So it would be difficult for us to answer the or take the load. Okay, like I mentioned, once we log the participants, your meeting ID will change, your recordings and everything would change, and it would be more of a personalized experience. Okay, so we'll always unmute the participants as soon as we log in. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay, everyone. Yeah, Vishnu, we'll discuss that once we start the session. So Venkat, I hope you have shared your details with the team. Yes, great. Thank you so much, everyone. See you all tomorrow at 8:30 a.m.